Welcome to Tungod online classes. In previous video, we had discussed Newton's first law and Newton's second law. The Newton's first law statement is every body continues to be state of rest or state of motion unless compelled by some external force. So that is the statement of the Newton's first law, and the Newton's first law that gives the concept of inertia. And the second one is Newton's second law. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to net external force acting on the body. Okay, see here, the net external force acting on the body, that is the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the net external force acting on the body. So from this relation, F is directly proportional to dP by dt. So in this case, dP by dt indicates that the momentum that it changes with respect to the time. So next, to remove this proportionality constant, we use the extra term, that is k into dP by dt. So P is nothing but, that is the momentum. The momentum is nothing but, it is a product of mass into velocity divided by dt. So in this case, we are assuming that the mass of the system is constant. So mass of the system is constant means this is a constant term, take it outside, then k into mass, that is dV by dt. So dV by dt is nothing but, that is acceleration. In this case, that is the velocity changes with respect to the time. The velocity changes with respect to time is the rate of change of velocity that gives the acceleration. So that is k into mass into acceleration. If force acting on the system is 1 Newton and mass is 1 kg, then acceleration is 1 meter per second square. So then k value becomes, that is 1. So substitute the k value in this equation, then it becomes force is equal to mass into acceleration. So it is very important for 5 mass. Okay, see here, then now note point. Okay, so already we know that k is equal to 1. So here substitute the k value here. So then the force is equal to, that is the force is equal to k into dP by dt. So already we know that the k is equal to 1. Then F is equal to dP by dt. So already we know that the momentum is nothing but, that is the force is equal to d by dt. P is nothing but mass into velocity. Okay, so this is in the form of product formula, the differentiation of the product formula. What is the standard formula here? See here, the differentiation of d by dt in bracket of u into v. So in this case, this is the first term and this is the second term. This is the second term. This is equal to keep the first term as it is, differentiating the second term with respect to the time, plus keep the second term as it is, differentiating the first term with respect to the time. So this is the standard formula. So here u is the first term and the v is the second term. So in the first one, keep the first term as it is, differentiating the second term, plus next keep the second term as it is, differentiating the first term. So then it becomes u into dv by dt plus v into dv by dt. Okay, see here, similarly here the mass is the first term and v is the second term. So according to this formula, so keep the first term as it is, m into dv by dt, plus keep the second term as it is, v, and differentiate in the first term, that is dm by dt. So dm by dt. So this is the force is equal to m into dv by dt plus v into dm by dt. So after that, there are two cases. The first one is, let us assume that the mass of the system is constant, and the second case is the velocity of the system is constant. So in first case, we will take mass is a constant. The mass of the system is constant. If the mass is constant means, so substitute here, that is force into mass as it is, dV by dt plus V dm by dt. Okay, in this case the mass is constant term. So mass is constant term means the differentiation of any constant term is 0. So in this case we are assuming that the mass of the system is constant. So then the differentiation of any constant term is 0. So this value 0 means the V into 0 means again the whole term becomes 0. Then the force is equal to mass into dv by dt is, that is acceleration. That is the force is equal to mass into acceleration. So this formula we are used to calculate the force acting on the body when the mass of the system is remains constant. When the mass of the system is remains constant. And the second case, in the second case, if the velocity of the system is constant, system is constant. Okay, so from this relation, let us assume that this equation is the equation number 1. Okay, so from equation number 1, then force is equal to m as it is dv by dt plus v into dm by dt. So in this case the velocity of the system is constant. If the velocity of the system is constant means the differentiation of velocity with respect to time it becomes 0. The differentiation of any constant term becomes 0. 0 into any term is 0. So the remaining factors is, that is v into dm by dt, right? So this formula we are used to find out the force acting on the system when the velocity of the system is constant. So there are two formula to calculate the force. If the mass of the system is constant, in that case we are using the formula is F is equal to ma. In case the mass of the system is changes with respect to the time, in that case we are using the force formula is, that is F is equal to V into dm by dt. The next topic is Newton's third law. So according to the statement, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So that is the statement of Newton's third law. So to every action there is a equal and opposite reaction. This is a very simple statement. So that is, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, see here, in this case we are considering the two bodies. Consider this is A body and this is the B body. So in this case both the bodies are in contact. So this is A body and this is B body. So in this case the first body exerting the force on the second body B in this direction. So this is F of AB. Here F of AB indicates that the force exerting A body on the B body. At the same time the B body is also exerting the force on the A body in this direction. So here F of BA indicates that the force exerting the second body on the first body. So in this case this force is acting in this direction and this force is acting in this direction. So then F of AB is equal to F of BA, right? The magnitude of both the forces is same but both are in opposite direction. So then F of AB is equal to minus of F of BA. So here minus sign indicates that both the magnitude of the force are same but in opposite direction. So in this case this force is known as the action and this force is known as the reaction. Okay, so this is action force and this is the reaction force. So here F of AB is the action and F of B is the reaction. So force is always occurs in a pair, that is action and reaction pair. So in this case the magnitude of both the forces is same but in opposite direction, that is opposite in direction. Okay, next one, the action and reaction force, action and reaction can never acts on the same body, never acts on the same body. Okay, the next one, force always occurs in pairs, always occurs in pairs, that is action and reaction pairs, and this action and reaction pairs are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction. Okay, so this is about the Newton's third law. So our statement is, to every action there is equal and opposite reaction, and here we are considered two body, A body and the B body, both are kept in contact. So here the first body exerting the force on the second body, that is F of AB, and the second body exerting the force on the first body, that is F of BA. So in this case, F of AB is equal to minus of F of BA. So this minus sign indicates that the direction of the forces, the magnitude of these two forces are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction, and in this case we are considered this is the action force and this is the reaction force. Okay, so here the action and reaction force can never acts on the same body, and the next one is the force always occurs in a pair, that is action reaction pair. Okay, see here the example. So consider this is a table. So consider this is the table. So in this case we are kept a book. We are kept a book on the surface of the table. So in this case the weight of this book, it is acting in downward direction. The weight of the book, it is acting in the downward direction. So that means the weight of the book is acting on the surface of this table, on the surface of this table. So that is known as the action force. At the same time, the surface of this table is also exerting the same amount of force in opposite direction, in opposite direction. So that is known as the reaction force. Okay, see here in this case, consider this is the surface of the table. Just we are kept an object on the surface of the table. At this time, the weight of this object, acting in the downward direction, or the weight of the object acting on the surface of the table. At the same time, the table is also exerting the same amount of force in opposite direction. So that is the one is the action force and one more is the reaction force. And here one more example. Consider this is a surface, horizontal surface, a person walking on this surface, right? So in this case, if the person pushes the floor in backward direction, that is the action. Here the person pushes the ground in backward direction, that is the action. At the same time, the ground is also pushes the person in a forward direction, that is known as the reaction, that is known as the reaction. And the third example, if the swimmer pushes the water in the backward direction, that is the action. At the same time, the water also pushes the person in a forward direction, that is the reaction force. And one more example, a firing gun. So in that case, if the gun fires, the bullet is moving in forward direction and the gun is moving in the backward direction. If the bullet is moving in the forward direction, consider as the action, and the bullet and the gun is moving in backward direction, that considered as a reaction force. So this is about the Newton's third. The next concept is the law of conservation of linear momentum. It is very important for 5 marks for your final examination. So law of conservation of linear momentum. So here already we know that the linear momentum means it is a product of mass into velocity. In that case, the mass is inversely proportional to velocity if the momentum is constant, and if the mass is constant, the momentum is directly proportional to the velocity. If the velocity is constant, the momentum is directly depends on the mass. Okay, see here. In this case, we are going to study the law of conservation of linear momentum. So then, what is the statement of this law? Okay, see here. In an isolated system, the total momentum of the system is conserved. Right? What is the statement here? In an isolated system, the total momentum of the system is conserved. So this is one statement, or the another statement is, if no external force acting on the system, the momentum before collision, that is equal to momentum after collision. So these are the statements of the law of conservation of linear momentum. So what is the first statement here? In an isolated system, the total momentum is conserved. The total momentum is conserved, or if no external force acting on the system the total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. Okay, so this is the statement of law of conservation of linear momentum. The first one, in an isolated system, the total momentum is conserved or the constant. Or the one more statement is, if no external force acting on the system, the total momentum before collision, that is equal to the total momentum after collision. Consider the two bodies. Consider this is the first body A and this is the second body, that is B. And let us assume that the mass of the first body is m1 and the mass of the second body is m2, and u1 and u2 be the initial velocities of the first body and the second body. So in this case, both the bodies are moving in this direction. So after collision, the velocity of both the bodies changes. For first body, the velocity changes to v1. For second body, that velocity that changes to v2. The second body, the velocity changes to v2 in a short interval of time, that is del of t. In a short interval of time, that is a del of t. Okay, see here. So this is the first body of mass is m1, second body of mass is m2. The initial velocity of the first body is u1 and the initial velocity of the second body is u2. So after collision, the velocity of these two bodies changes to v1 and v2 in a short interval of time, that is del of t. So in this case, here the A body exerting the force on the B body, so that is F of AB indicates that the force exerted by the first body on the second body. At the same time, the F of B, the second body, is also exerting the force on the first body, so that is F of BA. So here F of AB indicates that the force exerting A body on the B body, and here F of BA indicates that the force exerting B body on the A body. Okay, see here. Then F of AB is equal to, F of AB is nothing but the force exerted by the first body on the second body, that is equal to mass m1 into acceleration is a1. According to the Newton's second law, the force exerting the first body on the second body is, that is m1 into a1. So here m1 indicates that the mass of the first body, a1 indicates that the acceleration. Okay, see here. So already we know that the equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at. So from this relation, a is equal to v minus u divided by t. So this is the acceleration expression. Okay, so already we know that the v means that is the final velocity, u means initial velocity, t indicates that time interval, and a indicates that the acceleration. So in this case, we want the a1 value. So a1 is nothing but that is the final velocity of a first body minus initial velocity of a first body and the time interval. Okay, see here the initial velocity of the first body is u1 and the final velocity of the first body is v1. The time interval is del of t. So then it becomes m1 into a1 value is the final velocity of the first body is v1 minus the initial velocity of the first body is u1 and the time interval is, that is short time interval, that is del of t. So this is our first equation, right? Similarly, F of BA. So F of BA indicates that the force exerting the second body on the first body. The force exerting the second body on the first body. So according to Newton's second law, that is m2 into a2. That is m2 into a2. So m2 is nothing but the mass of the second body. a2 is nothing but the acceleration of the second body. So already we know the formula. Here substitute the values. Here a2 is equal to the final velocity of a second body is v2 and the initial velocity is u2 and the time interval is del of t. Substitute here, this is m2, bracket of a2 value is, that is v2 minus u2 divided by change in time interval is, that is del of t. So this is our equation number 2, right? Okay. So next, from Newton's third law, from Newton's third law, so for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. According to the Newton's third law, the force F of AB is equal to F of BA, that is minus. F of AB is equal to minus F of BA indicates that the force on first body on a second body and the force of second body and the first body both are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction. The one force is acting in this direction and the another force is acting in this direction. So then substitute all the values in this equation. Okay, so F of AB value is m1 bracket of v1 minus u1 divided by del of t and F of BA value is this much. Substitute these two equation in this equation. F of AB value is, that is m1 bracket of v1 minus u1 divided by del of t, that is equal to minus m2 bracket of v2 minus u2 divided by del of t. So in this case the del of t both are get cancelled. The remaining is m1 bracket of v1 minus u1, that is equal to minus m2 bracket of v2 minus u2. So multiply this one, that is m1 v1 minus m1 u1, that is equal to minus m2 v2 minus m2 into v2 minus into minus, that become plus, that is plus m2 into u2. So then rearrange the equation here. So in this case just we are taking this term this side and this term this side. So then okay, rearrange the equation here, that is m1 v1 plus m2 v2, that is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Okay, so already we know that the product of mass into velocity is nothing but the linear momentum. So here the total momentum of the system after collision, that is equal to total momentum before collision, or this is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2, that is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. See here, this is the momentum of the system before collision. Momentum of the system before collision. So this is the momentum of the system after collision. After collision. So this is the proof of this statement, that is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So here the total momentum before collision, that is equal to the total momentum after collision. It is very important for 5 marks. It is very important for 5 marks. So here first of all, what is the statement of a law of conservation of linear momentum here? In an isolated system, the total momentum of the system is conserved, or if no external force acting on the system, the total momentum before collision, that is equal to the total momentum after collision. So in this case, we are considering the two bodies, the first body A and the B. The mass of first body is m1 and the mass of a second body is m2. The initial velocity of first body is u1 and the initial velocity of a second body is u2. So after collision, the velocity of these two bodies changes to v1 and v2 in a short interval of time, that is del of t. Okay, so at this position, here the first body exerting the force on the second body, at the same time the second body is also exerting the force on the first body. Here we are going to calculate the how much of force exerted by the first body on the second body with the help of a Newton's second law. So that is F of AB is equal to m1 into a1. Here m1 is the mass of first body, a1 indicates that the acceleration of that body. Okay, so then already we know the standard equation, that is v equal to u plus at. From this relation, a value is v minus u by t. So in this case, we are substituting the values here. The final velocity of a first body is, that is v1, minus initial velocity of the first body is e1 divided by small time interval is, that is del of t. So we are substituting the values in this equation. Then equation becomes m1 bracket of v1 minus u1 divided by del of t. So this is our equation number 1, and the equation number 2 is the F of B, the force exerted by the second body on the first body, that is equal to m2 into a2, and a2 value is, that is v2 minus u2 divided by del of t. So next, according to the Newton's third law, the F of AB is equal to minus F of BA, So here we are substituting the F of AB value and the F of BA value in this equation. Then here the del of t both are get cancelled. The remaining factors is m1 bracket of v1 minus u1, that is equal to m minus m2 bracket of v2 minus u2. So multiply this one, m1 v1 minus m1 u1, that is equal to minus of m2 into v2 plus minus into minus is plus m2 into u2. So here rearrange the terms. So then m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2, or m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So this is the total momentum of the system before collision, that is equal to the total momentum of the system after collision. Okay, the next one is applications of law of conservation of linear momentum. In that first one is recoiling of a gun. It is very important for 3 marks. So already we know that the statement of law of conservation of linear momentum, if no external force acting on the system, the total momentum before collision, that is equal to total momentum after collision. So here the first applications of a law of conservation of linear momentum is, that is a recoiling of a gun. Okay, see here, when a bullet is fired from the gun recoils. The gun recoils means the gun move in opposite direction of the bullet. For example, if the bullet is moving in this direction, the gun is moving in backward direction. So in this case, we are going to find out what is the recoil velocity of the gun. So recoil velocity means the velocity with which a gun move in a backward direction. We are going to find out the recoil velocity of the gun with the help of a law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, see here. So consider this is the gun. And this is the bullet. So initially the both gun and bullet are rest. Then the total momentum before firing is 0. Okay, see here. Before firing, the total momentum is 0, because in this case both bullet and gun both are at rest. So after firing, this bullet is moving in forward direction with some velocity. In this case, we are assuming that that is v suffix b. So here v suffix b indicates that that is the velocity of the bullet. At the same time, the gun is moving in backward direction with some velocity, that is v suffix g. So here v suffix g indicates that the velocity of the gun. And here m suffix b indicates that the mass of the bullet, and m suffix g indicates that that is the mass of the gun. Okay, so after firing, the bullet is moving in this direction and the gun is moving in backward direction. The total momentum after firing, the total momentum of the system, the total momentum of the system, is, so that is, the total momentum of the system is the product of mass of bullet into velocity of a bullet and the mass of a gun and the velocity of a gun. The total momentum after firing is, that is, mass of bullet into velocity of a bullet plus mass of the gun and velocity of the gun. Here m suffix b indicates that mass of a bullet, v suffix b indicates that velocity of a bullet, and m suffix g indicates that the mass of the gun, and v suffix g indicates that the velocity of the gun. Okay. According to the law of conservation of linear momentum, total momentum before firing, that is equal to total momentum after firing. Okay, see here, the total momentum before firing is 0. The total momentum after firing is, that is, mass of a bullet into velocity of a bullet plus mass of the gun into velocity of the gun. Okay, the total momentum before firing is, that is 0, that is equal to total momentum after firing is, that is, the mass of a bullet into velocity of a bullet plus mass of a gun into velocity of the gun. Okay, so rearrange the equation here, that is, mass of a gun into velocity of a gun, that is equal to minus mass of a bullet into velocity of a bullet. In this case, we want to calculate what is the velocity of a gun. So that is known as the recoil velocity, that is Vg is equal to minus mass of bullet into velocity of a bullet divided by mass of a gun. So this expression we are used to find out the recoil velocity. So recoil velocity, that is equal to minus mass of bullet into velocity of bullet divided by mass of a gun. So here negative sign indicates that it is the direction of the gun. So here if the bullet is moving in a forward direction, then gun is moving in the backward direction, and here this negative sign indicates that the gun is moving in the backward direction. So then what do you mean by the recoil velocity? So recoil velocity means the velocity with which the gun move in a backward direction. So that is known as the recoil velocity, and this recoil velocity is equal to minus mb into vb divided by mg. Here minus sign indicates that is the direction of the gun. So this is about the recoil velocity. So initially we are consider the gun and bullet both are at rest. The total momentum before firing is 0. So after that, after firing, the bullet is moving with some velocity and the gun is also moving with some velocity. The total momentum after collision, after firing, so that is mass of the bullet into velocity of the bullet plus mass of the gun into velocity of the gun. So according to the law of conservation of linear momentum, the total momentum before firing, that is equal to total momentum after firing. The total momentum before firing is 0, then the total momentum after firing is this much. So next, the mass of a gun into velocity of a gun, that is equal to minus of mass of a bullet into velocity of the bullet. So here we want to calculate the recoil velocity, that is v sub g is equal to minus mb vb divided by mg. So recoil velocity means the velocity with which the gun moves in a backward direction. See here, The product of mass of the gun and the velocity of a gun that gives the momentum of the gun, and the mass of a bullet and the velocity of a bullet that gives the momentum of the bullet. Okay, see here, in this case the momentum of the gun that is equal to the minus of the momentum of the bullet. So in this case the magnitude of the momentum of the gun and the momentum of the bullet both are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction. Okay, see here, we are going to discuss some important points here. The first one is the ratio of magnitude of momentum of the bullet and gun. Okay, see here, the momentum of the bullet to the momentum of the gun. So here P suffix B indicates that the momentum of the bullet by the momentum of the gun that is equal to, so the magnitude of the momentum of the bullet to the magnitude of the momentum of the gun that is equal to the magnitude of bullet is mass of the bullet into velocity of the bullet. So magnitude means all becomes positive. So here the momentum of the gun is, that is mass of the gun into velocity of the gun. So in this case the both the magnitude is same but in opposite direction. So here the ratio of the momentum of the bullet with respect to the gun is, that is 1:1. So that is 1:1. And the second one, the ratio of the velocities of the bullet with respect to the gun. So from this relation, the ratio of the magnitude of the velocity of a bullet with respect to the magnitude of the velocity of the gun. So that is equal to, that is a mass of gun by mass of bullet. So this is the ratio of the magnitude of the velocity of a bullet with respect to the magnitude of velocity of the gun. So that is equal to the mass of the gun by mass of the bullet. Mass of the gun by mass of the bullet. Next one, relation between kinetic energy and momentum. The relation between kinetic energy and the momentum. Okay, see here. So already we know the formula to calculate the kinetic energy is, that is kinetic energy equal to 1/2 m into v square, and the momentum formula is, that is the product of mass into velocity. So then the kinetic energy that is equal to 1/2. So in this case this is m into v square. So this m into v square. So the momentum is, that is the product of mass into velocity. So then it becomes p square divided by m. P square divided by m. So then the kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 p square divided by m. So this is the relation between kinetic energy and the momentum. This is the relation between the kinetic energy and the momentum. Or, so p square is equal to 2m into kinetic energy. So then P is equal to under root of 2 into mass into kinetic energy. So this is the relation between the momentum and the kinetic energy. The next one, the ratio of a kinetic energy of a bullet with respect to the gun. The kinetic energy of a bullet with respect to the kinetic energy of the gun. So here the kinetic energy expression is, that is 1/2 p square divided by m. So in this case the momentum of the bullet and the gun both are same or both are equal in magnitude. So then here from this relation the kinetic energy of the bullet, so kinetic energy of the bullet is, that is 1/2 p square. Here m means, that is the mass of the bullet, and the kinetic energy of the gun is, that is p square divided by 2 into mass of the gun. So substitute these two values in this equation, then it becomes p square divided by 2 into mass of the bullet, and here this is p square divided by 2 into mass of the gun. So here momentum momentum get cancelled and 2 get cancelled. The remaining is, that is the mass of a gun with respect to the mass of the bullet. The ratio of a kinetic energy of a bullet with respect to the gun is, that is mass of the gun divided by mass of the bullet. Is the total energy of a firing. The total energy of a firing, that is equal to kinetic energy of a bullet plus kinetic energy of the gun. So here the kinetic energy of the bullet is, that is 1 by 2 p square divided by mass of the bullet. Okay, this is equal to p square divided by 2 into mass of the bullet plus kinetic energy of a gun is, that is p square divided by 2 into mass of the gun. So in this case the momentum is constant and the 2 is also constant. Take it outside, then p square by 2 bracket, that is 1 divided by the mass of a bullet plus 1 divided by mass of the gun. So this is the total energy of a firing. The total energy of the firing, that is equal to the kinetic energy of a bullet plus kinetic energy of a gun. The kinetic energy of a bullet is, that is p square divided by 2 into mass of the bullet plus p square divided by 2 into mass of the gun. So the momentum and the 2 is a constant term, take it outside, then it becomes p square divided by 2 bracket of 1 divided by mass of a bullet plus 1 divided by mass of the gun. So these are the few important points of the recoil velocity or recoiling of a gun. Thank you.